Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jessa Circa. I'm happy that you tuned in today.
Today, we talk about feeling nervous when we speak. Maybe you know this feeling. You want to say something, but your mind is blank. Your heart beats fast, your voice gets quiet, and you suddenly feel unsure. This feeling is normal. Many people have it, especially when they speak a language that is not their first one.
Exactly. We both had moments where our voice shakes or our mind turns empty.
Why do we speak about this today? Because nervous speaking affects many people. You are not alone. Many feel unsure. A big problem is that people often ignore this topic. Many think it is normal and you must live with it. But that is not true.
Right? Nobody is alone with nervousness.
I remember my first order in a bakery. My heart was loud, even though I only wanted one bagel.
Oh yes, I know that. For me it was a phone call in English, full of wrong grammar.
We will dive deeper into stories later. But first, we will tell you what to expect. Don't worry. We stay slow. We use simple words and short sentences.
If something touches or helps you, please write us. We are curious about your stories.
Maybe someone had a funny mistake, like me in the grocery store. I mixed up soap and soup.
I had to laugh when you told me that. Such stories show that mistakes are normal.
Absolutely. Our goal today is not to give perfect tips, but to share feelings.
Exactly, Mike. Maybe our listeners will find new calm. That would be great.
Before we start, a small exercise. Take one deep breath in and out. Do you feel some calm?
I feel my shoulders drop at once. Breathe in, breathe out. Very simple but helpful.
Great. We will bring this calm into the next chapters. I'm already excited.
Me too. Soon we talk about the moment before the first word. Stay tuned.
Maybe some of you grab a tea or coffee now. That fits a quiet episode.
Good idea. I have chamomile tea here. The smell calms me even more.
I sit with a glass of water. Even the soft clink helps me speak slower.
Mike, do you feel a bit nervous about the recording today?
A little, yes. Microphones always make me alert. But your calm smile relaxes me.
I'm glad. I imagine we just chat in the living room.
That's exactly what we do. So, dear friends, get comfortable. We will start in a second.
Great.
Now we look at a very important moment. It is the moment before you start to speak. Everything is still, but inside you a lot happens. You think, your body gets restless, and you wonder if you should talk. Many people know exactly this moment. That is why it matters so much.
It can also be scary. My heart often pounds even before I open my mouth.
I know that well. Sometimes it feels like a pause that lasts forever.
Right. Thoughts race. Which words do I choose? How will my voice sound? Does anyone understand me?
I notice my hands first. They grow warm and a bit damp. Then my throat turns dry.
My hand rarely shakes, but my stomach tightens. It feels like a knot.
You know, I once thought only I had this. Today, I know almost everyone feels it.
Yes, that is a comfort. This nervous feeling links people, no matter age or language.
I recall a college class. I had to give a short talk. Only 2 minutes.
Yet it was surely the longest talk of your life, right?
Absolutely. The seconds before were worse than the talk itself. My pulse raced.
I had something similar at a family party. Everyone looked at me. I only had to introduce myself, but I froze.
The silence felt loud for sure.
Very loud. Each second seemed to last 10. Then I stammered my name.
And what happened?
Nothing bad. The family smiled. After that, the ice was broken. But before, it was hard frost.
Nice image. I think the body sends warning signals, like little lights that turn on.
Sometimes I notice those lights. Sometimes I ignore them. Then the nervousness hits me twice.
I try to greet the lights. Ah, there you are again. That lowers the tension a bit.
Interesting. You turn nervousness into a guest.
Exactly. A guest may stay but must not take over the house.
I am smiling because that image helps. Maybe our listeners will try it.
Good idea. Friends, watch what happens in your body without judgment.
Breathe in deeply. Feel the ground under your feet. That connects you to the present.
I often notice that when I move my feet a bit, tension quietly leaves.
I sometimes place a hand on my belly. Then I feel my breath better.
Small gestures, big effect.
Mike, have you ever felt your mind was totally blank?
Oh yes, not one word seemed there. I call it the speech vacuum.
For me, it is like fog. Words are there, but I cannot see them.
Nicely said. And then usually one simple word comes. Maybe hello.
That small word is a key. After that, more doors open slowly.
True. One step is enough to keep moving.
Sometimes it helps to look away for a second. Do not stare at the whole group.
Or smile at one face. A friendly eye gives courage.
Have you had times when nervousness vanished once you started?
Often. The start is like a jump into water, cold, then pleasant.
Same for me. Once the first sentences flow, the voice calms.
Our listeners may wonder if that always works. Of course not, but often.
And every small success counts. It makes the next pause shorter.
Would you share a mini exercise, Jessica?
Sure. Imagine you only say your name. Loud, clear, slow. Nothing more.
After that, breathe out once deeply. Do you feel a difference?
I feel it even when I just think it aloud.
Same for me. A name is familiar. It creates safety.
And safety weakens nervousness. Not fully, but a bit.
I think that is often enough. A little less pressure is already success.
We also want to know if this exercise helps. Please write us.
Maybe some listeners have their own rituals. A stick of gum, a lucky stone.
Or a quiet song in the head. Anything is allowed that is kind.
Important is that the ritual stays small. Otherwise, new stress appears.
Very true. Let's note, nervousness before speaking is normal. Body signals show it.
Accept, breathe, start. That is our small 3-step.
Sounds good. In the next part, we look at moments where nervousness gets very strong.
I am curious. So stay with us and carry your new keys. Welcome to Chapter 3. Now we talk about everyday situations that cause nerves.
Many think first of presentations, but even the coffee shop can cause stress.
Absolutely. I order a bagel in the morning and sometimes feel pressure behind me.
The line grows, you search the word, and suddenly it gets quiet.
Then you maybe just say, this, and point. That feels childish.
I often stuttered when I wanted a coffee with oat milk.
Funny enough, the barista often knows that exact word. Yet the tongue still freezes.
Another classic is the phone. No gestures, no lips, only voice.
Oh yes. When the DMV calls, I feel smaller at once.
I write little notes beforehand, but when the phone rings, they vanish.
Or at the doctor's office. Your name is called, everyone waits, and you stand in the spotlight.
Right. I then think about every move, even taking off my jacket.
Once I tangled my scarf and took forever. Embarrassing.
Most people understand, but in our head, a different movie plays.
That movie shows disasters that never happen. Yet we still shake.
Let's talk about small talk. Those tiny chats in the elevator or bus.
Oh, the elevator is my final boss. 3 floors can feel very long.
I mostly just nod. Then I feel mad because a chance passed.
Later, I think. Why not just say, nice day?
Exactly. One sentence is often enough, but in the moment, it feels huge.
Practice in the mirror helps me. I say daily phrases out loud until they sound normal.
Good idea. I practice while walking. Quiet but clear for me.
What about group circles where everyone introduces themselves? My knees get weak.
Oh yes, I count inside when my turn comes. Each number raises the pressure.
Then I barely listen to the others. A pity, because their stories are interesting.
The same happens to me. I lose contact. That creates even more nerves.
Do you know job interviews in a group? One table, many questions, many eyes.
Sadly, yes. My throat then feels like paper. Words scratch.
I drink water beforehand. But in the room, I forget the bottle.
Also common. My head gets hot, my hands cold. Strange mix.
It shows the body is working. Adrenaline stirs everything up.
In supermarkets, I sometimes avoid the question at checkout. Do you have rewards?
Me too. I forget what rewards are, even though I collect them.
You laugh later, but in the moment you freeze like a deer.
Well said. We react like animals, even though only words are needed.
Maybe an inner sign helps. You are safe. I picture that.
I paint a green light in my mind. Green means go. Speak.
Our listeners can find their own symbols, something that gives courage.
Write us about it if you like. Maybe we inspire each other.
Another situation is the post office counter. Many forms, little time.
Yes, and the line literally breathes down your neck.
I always sweat when I must choose the right postage.
One tip from me. A small index card with phrases in your pocket.
Ah, a tiny cheat sheet. Good idea against the big blackout.
Important is to use it discreetly. No one must know everything by heart.
Right. We learn step by step. Today postage, tomorrow a contract talk.
A lovely thought. Small wins build self-confidence.
Do you have another example, Mike?
Yes. Traffic light chats with neighbors. We wait, talk briefly, the light turns.
I find these talks hard because they must end suddenly.
Sometimes I just wave kindly. Still communication, just without words.
That is allowed. No duty to speak every time.
It remains important not to judge yourself. Each day brings different energy.
Very true. We collect experiences. Nervousness only shows that something matters to us.
That sounds like a good close for this chapter.
Yes, let's talk in the next part about thoughts that make everything harder.
Welcome to Chapter 4. Today we look at thoughts that block speaking.
Thoughts can be friends, yet they are often strict judges.
For me, it starts with one line. You will make a mistake soon.
Oh, I know that one. My version says, everyone will laugh if you stumble.
This inner voice sounds loud, even though outside nobody says a word.
Exactly. Sometimes it is only a quick thought, but it burns bright.
I call them thought clouds. They float in and darken the sun.
Nice image. For me, they are short movies, fast and dramatic.
Which movie runs in your head often?
Title: I do not understand the question, and everyone waits in shock.
Heavy stuff. My favorite movie is called Mike Forgets a Very Easy Word.
Funny if it were not so serious.
True. But we see they are only stories, not real news.
Yes, yet the body believes at once. Heart and hands react.
I sometimes ask, who writes this script in my head?
Maybe old events. A teacher who laughed at us, an awkward moment.
Possible. Or we want to be perfect and set the bar too high.
Perfect sounds safe, but it is a trap. Language lives from small mistakes.
Absolutely. Without mistakes, we would have no funny memories.
Right? And no learning steps. Mistakes show where we grow.
Still the thought, be perfect, appears again and again.
Then I try to allow one tiny mistake on purpose.
Interesting. An example?
I say a simpler word on purpose instead of a hard synonym.
Smart. Then the mind sees the world doesn't end.
Exactly. After that, thinking gets freer like a loosened tie.
I use humor. I picture the voice as a cartoon.
So like a comic figure that exaggerates?
Yes. Then it feels less scary. I can even laugh.
Laughing disarms many thoughts. The judge drops his hammer.
Our listeners surely know their own lines. I speak too slow, or my accent is awful.
Maybe write them on paper. Then you see they are only words.
Next to them, you can put truth. For example, many understand me anyway.
Good exercise. I do it often in a cafe with a notebook.
By the way, thoughts come in groups. One negative pulls the next.
Like chips from a bag. Hard to stop at one piece.
Exactly. That is why a stop word helps. Mine is pause.
Mine is breathe. I say it softly and take a deep breath.
In that moment, the thought chain breaks for a second.
Often enough to say the first real word out loud.
Once I even said, pause aloud. The partner laughed, and so did I.
Nice. Laughing connects and also releases tension.
What about comparisons? I often measure myself against native speakers.
Me too. Then I remind myself, They practice their language a whole life.
Exactly. We may have only a few years. Still, we hold this talk.
That is a win. Everyone listening is learning too.
I think we should celebrate wins, even small ones. For example, one sentence without a block.
Or a friendly nod from the partner, a sign that talk works.
Let's note, thoughts can be loud, but we choose if we listen.
And we can plant new friendly thoughts. Then speaking gets lighter.
That ends this chapter. Next, we see how experience changes nervousness. Chapter 5 begins. Now we talk about experiences that slowly eased nervousness.
Yes, feelings shift over the years. Sometimes easier, sometimes harder.
My first year in the United States was tough. Every sentence felt like a test.
I remember. You practiced often, yet your voice and hands still shook.
Then an older, kind neighbor spoke slowly with me each morning. After 3 weeks, I noticed my body stayed calmer.
That shows repetition is gentle training. Muscles learn calm. For me, a theater group was key. I played a tiny role.
Brave! Weren't you incredibly nervous on stage?
Oh, yes. Right before entry, I wanted to run. The director held my hand. She whispered, "Breathe. Just breathe." Suddenly, I felt ground under my feet.
And then,
I spoke my 2 lines. The crowd clapped for the scene, not for me. Yet my mind learned. I can speak to people and survive.
that is a key moment. Once lived, it stays as proof. I had one at the gym. After practice, someone asked about my background. Earlier, I used few words. That day, I talked for 3 minutes.
Wow, 3 minutes is long when nerves lurk.
Yes. Time flew because the topic mattered to me. I was surprised how friendly attention can feel.
Maybe that is the core. When content matters, the inner ego shrinks.
Good point. Still, old fear returns on some days.
I feel that on trips. New accents, new rules, nerves feel fresh.
Memory of good events helps. I think, you did it before?
I write such wins in a small notebook. While waiting, I read 2 lines.
Smart. A portable proof against the inner critic.
Exactly. Sometimes music is enough. One song recalls smooth talks.
I kept a voice note where I sound fluent. I listen before meetings.
That is like personal podcast coaching. Very nice.
Let's speak about pauses. I once filled every gap at once.
Me too. Silence sounded like failure. Now I enjoy short breath breaks.
A voice coach told me, pause is a gift for listeners.
Beautiful. A pause lets thoughts arrive and shows confidence.
Since then, I count 1, 2 inside before I answer.
I feel air in my nose. That pulls me from wild thoughts.
Listeners can practice pause today. Say 1 line, leave 2 seconds quiet.
The world will not fall apart, promise.
Another topic is acceptance. We can be nervous and still speak.
Yes, I tell myself, I speak even while I shake. It works.
Acceptance turns a fight into teamwork. Body and mind join.
Exactly. When nothing helps, Soft honesty works. I'm a bit nervous.
People often smile kindly then. Tension drops at once.
We should end this chapter. A clear thread appears.
Right. We saw positive repeats, pauses, and acceptance calm nerves. I feel the topic is becoming round now.
Me too. Later is a good time to sum it up.
Agreed. Let's take a short break and finish in the last chapter.
Before the break, I want to share one mini story.
Oh, please. I'll lean back.
Last week in Spain, I ordered tapas in German because Spanish failed me. The waiter grinned and replied in German. Suddenly, I felt no nerves.
That shows the world is smaller than we think.
Exactly. That moment doubled my confidence.
Such surprises are like bonus levels in learning.
Maybe our listeners will hit a bonus level soon. I hope so.
Thanks for the story. Now the break truly fits.
All right. We breathe, then meet in the closing chapter.
Friends, sip water, stretch. Let what you heard settle.
Great advice. I'll count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See you soon.
Break now. So, we've reached the end of our talk.
Yes, it feels complete. I'm very happy.
I think that was a good line to finish on. Should I sum it all up? Sure. Today, we first said hello and named our topic. Then we talked about the moment before the first word. We described warm hands, dry throats, and quick hearts. Next, we spoke about daily scenes like bakery, phone, and elevator. We laughed about small slips and felt shared distress. In part 4, we looked at thoughts. We found tough movies in the head and learned to say pause or breathe. After that, we told stories where nervousness slowly changed. There were the friendly neighbor, the theater group, and practice at the gym. We saw that repeat, small wins, and honest breaks help. We spoke about acceptance and courage to treat nerves as a guest. We remembered that mistakes are normal and build connection. 3 small tools stand clear. Breathe, pause, smile. A notebook for successes is helpful too. We asked listeners to share own rituals and symbols. Together this makes a kind picture. Nervousness stays but gets quieter when we listen. Greet it and keep talking. I hope this rap is easy to follow. We also said voices calm once the first word is out. Simple moves like saying your name loud or feeling your feet build a bridge from thought to speech.
Thank you, Mike. You summed it up clearly and kindly.
You're welcome. I enjoyed our exchange a lot.
I liked how open we talked about fear.
Yes, openness makes the subject lighter.
Dear listeners, thank you very much for listening.
It was great that you took the time.
If you have wishes or stories, please write us.
We look forward to every message and every small experience.
Don't forget to take breaks and be kind to yourself.
Right. Remember, nervousness is only a visitor.
And every visitor leaves one day.
I'm already excited for our next episode.
Me too. It will be exciting again.
So we say bye for today.
Bye, and stay brave.
Before we fully close, here is one last thought from me. Choose a tiny speaking task for tomorrow and try it slowly but with care.
That is a nice idea. 1 step a day is enough.
Write down how it went and celebrate the win.
We are eager to hear about your small victories.
Now for real. Thank you and see you next time soon.
Take care and stay curious.